Welcome to Hollywood.
So you touched base a little bit on video games and story. I love video games that are story driven as well. So we met through this game called Overwatch. You've been playing Overwatch for a while now. What are your thoughts about Overwatch? Do you like it?
So, in the beginning when Blizzard announced Overwatch, I was very skeptical about the game. I think a lot of my skepticism comes from the fact that I never played, World of Warcraft. I never played StarCraft or any of those other Blizzard games on the PC.
StarCraft is so fun. You should try it sometime. It's another one of those nostalgia
I would
games.
absolutely try those games. I had a Mac, so it was difficult for me to play really good computer games and consistently.
Yeah.
So the other thing that kind of turned me off about the Blizzard was that a lot of their games at the time were a paid subscription.
Yeah.
And where I'm one of those who likes to get a lot of games, I couldn't see myself paying a subscription for one game and one game only.
Right.
I just didn't see the value of the game when I was gonna play it other games too. But Overwatch kind of basically proved me wrong, and I loved the fact that their whole argument was, you're not going to get a single-player, story-driven Overwatch game, but you pay $60 and we're giving you all these characters and maps for free. And that's a great way of tailoring to your fans and winning people over who haven't played Blizzard games. And I think that fast forward, Overwatch has just become this huge phenomenon, much like World of Warcraft was, and Blizzard, once again struck gold with the third-person shooter genre now, and I think that they really hit it out of the park with it. I think one of the cool things I really like about Overwatch is the lore behind the game.
Yes, I agree.
And I think that it's really cool to take something as simple as, all of us running around in this map like we're doing right now, killing each other, but know that there's a big story and huge world.
Yeah, you're attached to the character itself.
Back in the fight.
And that's what won it for me. Also, the team play. I mean, when you play with your friends, it's so much fun. And I love the teamwork and tactics goes into it. This is so different from Call of Duty, where it's all about the kills and you're solely dependent on just your hard work. A team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think there's a give and a take. I think that there are people who still see this game as just another first-person shooter, and they do play the game just for the kills. And I think that and I think that Blizzard wasn't trying to accomplish that. They were trying to make it a team-based game and have you play with your friends and work together and come together as a community to accomplish playing the game. And it's amazing how fast this game hit the mainstream to become its own sport. I mean, they're hugely into esports. I think it's going to be the game that's gonna make people wake up and realize that esports is a serious thing, much like basketball or a baseball game. And I think that that's important, because I think that people who couldn't play sports growing up, but grew up on video games, they find a place that they belong, and they find their own way of being an athlete, so to speak. I think that, I mean, esports is a different topic for a different day, but I think that Overwatch has definitely helped propel it to popularity, mainstream, and made people aware of esports.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I love about Overwatch is just how, like, broad it is. You know, it's taken these characters, you know, sometimes can be otherworldly, but they're from all over the world, and you don't see that represented in a lot of games.
I agree with you. I feel like it's so hard to video games nowadays and find characters that you identify with, or, you know, like voiceover actors, you know, it's really nice to see that, you know, they really try to get that in that culture, you know?
Absolutely, I think it's
and it's not
great.
all permanently white voice actors trying to voice a person.
Absolutely, I think it's good for not only, you know, the gaming community to have characters that are from all over the world, but I think it's good for, you know, just the pure, like, entertainment aspect of it, that, like, it's being represented by everybody.
Right.
And I think it makes sense too, because if you're gonna make a game that's gonna be played by people all over the world, why not have characters that are from those countries?
Exactly. So, what are your issues with Overwatch? Like, anything else with games, or always, you know, sides?
Well, I think my issues with Overwatch is kind of what I was saying, where I still think there's a dividing group of people who treat this game like another first-person shooter when it's not.
Right.
I think that there is a problem with selfish players in this game. I think that there are people who want to prove that they're better than other people when that's not what the game's designed for.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's issues that, you know, within the players themselves. For example, I think that you have to treat this game like any other thing, like strategically. If you're gonna play, especially in the competitive games, where, like, my biggest problem is, you know, when you play competitive, you want to naturally assume that the people who are playing with you are just as competitive and want to win just as bad as you do. And sometimes I feel like that's not the case, and I feel like there are people who treat this as a casual play, and that's fine, except I don't think that they take account that there are people who actually care about winning and losing in comp. Otherwise there wouldn't be a comp, you know, option to play. And, you know, so what I'm getting at is, like, people who troll, I guess, so to speak. You know, people who change characters just to make the other person mad, or people who don't make the adjustments and see what
who just solely
the team
make
needs, you know,
environmental kills.
Yeah, I just trying to, you know, people. I think the term main is bad for the game. I think, you know, I like D.Va. I play D.Va a lot. But I'm willing to be somebody else for the good of the team, and I don't think there's a lot of players out there that are. And I think that,
especially if D.Va's not really the greatest character in the whole wide world.
Well, that's
another topic
for another day.
Yeah.
But I just think that, like, the game is about team, and that's first and foremost. It's a team-based game, you know. So I think you should want to, even if you've never met these other players, you should still want to form a team with them and be successful and come together and try to win the game. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that still aren't willing to do that, and it's ultimately, you know, causing frustration amongst the community, I think.
It has. And that's why I jumped from this game to play another game, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of like getting teams. Alright.
I also think that people, you know, I think it is a problem when people don't use the mic and communicate with each other.
But sometimes there's stuff like that's abusive, you know, when it turns
absolutely.
to being on the mic.
You
know, they abuse
that's
privilege.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm talking about like not communicating in a way of like, hey, I got someone over here, go take care of them, kind of thing. Strategically, what it's meant for, not being mean.
Right, exactly. What is your favorite food to cook at home? What is your staple dish?
My favorite food to cook at home would have to be any kind of pasta dish.
Easy enough. So, if you do like pie, what kind of pies do you like?
Oh man, I like any kind of thing with chocolate in it. But did you say gross?
Yeah. I
No
only
way.
because I have a thing with chocolate pies. It's just traumatizing, but go on.
I do like
topic
pumpkin.
for a different time.
I do like pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah, it's good. Do you like it a la mode?
I do.
Nice.
I do like apple pie. I do like blueberry pie.
Do you have
I like
any
all kinds of pies. I love pies.
store-bought pies that you recommend for, like, in terms of like blueberry or apple? Because I can never find a good apple pie from like the store.
I would say make your own apple pie. I wouldn't buy it from a store. Same thing with pumpkin. You can always find a good blueberry pie from a store.
Those are easy.
You can always find a good cherry pie from the store.
Yeah.
But I would say you're better off making an apple pie or a pumpkin pie from scratch.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, that is all the time we have left for today. I want to thank my guest today, Colin. Thank you for letting me do an interview.
No problem, anytime.
And thank you for joining me for another slice of Pie New. I do new videos, or I try to, for every Taco Tuesday. And for interviews and recipe tutorials, I'll try to upload them on first Tuesdays of the month. Till next time, guys. Bye. And remember, guys, it's Pie New somewhere.